Hello everyone, this is Al coming to you once again for Kindred Souls of Brooklyn, and really special video tonight, folks. Tonight I want to do an interview of Sam Zee, who is one of Brooklyn's most up-and-coming stars. He's got a lot of talent, and remember the name. In the future you're going to be hearing a lot about him. And the reason for this video is I like to do different things for the channel, and especially Sam, who's I wanted to do a video for the folks who are out there who want to have the inspiration and want to know how is it that you get into the business and what is it that you have to do and the practice and things like that. So I thought it'd be really fun to sit down with Sam and interview him. Like I say, you're going to be seeing a lot of him, I think, in the future. And so with no further ado, this is Sam Zee. So Sam, how are you? Nice to see you.
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Welcome to Kindred Souls of Brooklyn.
Thank you. It's an honor. I'm flattered.
Well, we're honored to have you on the channel. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, what your inspirations were?
Sure. The story starts in 2006. I'm in 4th grade. It's the talent show. And back then I was big on soccer, or football, as, others around the world may call it. And I thought, why not write a song? I wrote a song and I sang it.
Okay.
That wasn't the moment it skyrocketed for me. That was the start.
Oh,
But
okay.
then it wasn't until 2009, after the king of pop, Michael Jackson, died.
Right.
And I looked more into him because I saw like all these people were upset, and I was like, who is this man that was so big and so loved? I looked into him and something just ticked inside of me. Like I learned his dances, I learned his songs, and the next year in 2010, he died in 2009. I went up the talent show. It was the first time I did singing and dancing. I did it to his song, Wanna Be Starting Something.
Okay.
And after that performance was over, I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Something
was like galvanized right in that moment. Wow.
Something like, I don't know what it was. It's just his influence, his legacy,
Well, I think he's influenced so many people, like so many great stars around the world.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go from Michael to Elvis to the Beatles to Rolling Stones, so many different people. And usually they tend to watch these artists, and you'll be watching that artist, and right then and there, that's what you want to do, right in that very minute. So like after that happened in 2010, when did you start incorporating like the dancing and the videos type things with it, and how did you start getting into that?
Into my own style, or just in general? Well, honestly, as soon as I learned about who and what Michael was, from that day on, because little by little, there were moments where like my mom, my friends, I would be singing and they're like, I could tell you listen to Michael Jackson, because unknowingly I'd put in like some vocal riffs that he was popular for. Maybe like I'd add a vocal hiccup or some beatboxing that he was renowned for, and it was just like, it was unconscious, but like it was like I didn't know I was doing it, but then once people pointed it out, I was like, wow, he's really impacted me. Even in my dancing, like it's not like I went out on stage planning, I'm gonna do something Michael did. It was just, I watched his videos and somehow it took control of me, and it just came about like that.
It's amazing. I mean, so like obviously, so what would your advice be for people outside who are just like, who feel the same thing, and like, how do you really get started with like, do you watch the videos? Do you listen to the music? Do you just, what is it that really like puts it all together for you?
Well, I think everybody needs a spark. The spark's the most important thing. My spark was obviously the, I guess you could say like it was in 2010. I mean, it was that talent show. That's what just skyrocketed my love for music, singing, dancing, everything, even acting. I think first you find the spark, and then you need one person to look up to. You don't have to have, you can have like 20 different, people you look up to, but if you have that one person that you really want to be like, for me it's Michael, obviously.
Right.
You want to look into what impact they left on the world. How did they go about their craft? It's not just about, it's not just about making money and being famous. It's about what they did that touched people's hearts, because clearly they didn't go into this thinking, oh, I just want to make a hit song and make $1 million.
Exactly.
They did it from their heart, and that's important too, passion.
And I think that shows, because you could kind of go into something and say, oh, I'd like to make a lot of money, but like, it's really the passion that makes you, like, say, do dance moves for like 3 or 4 hours, or listen to like a song maybe 20 times in a row, something like that. That's really where the passion comes out.
No, absolutely.
And I think, what about like for the people out there who like like the naysayers, because like a lot of times it's hard to find people to support you, like you find that one inspirational person, but like what advice would you give to, like, because every artist faces that, like even for me, like starting a YouTube channel, which is not even anywhere near someone who's like, if you're going into a career like the way you're going to go into it, you get this, oh, you can't do that. Like, what would your advice be for the people out there who face those naysayers?
Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. You know, I was watching an interview with Michael Jackson, and there was a story he brought up. They took Henry Ford to court.
Okay.
He did, because they were like, oh, he didn't go to school. They just couldn't believe that he was doing what he was doing. They actually took him to court.
Right.
And now Henry Ford, we look back at him, look at how he's impacted the world.
Exactly.
I guess, point being is, there are going to be a lot of people who tell you that you can't do it. The Beatles, for example, they were rejected by Decca.
Right.
Somebody.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I did hear about that.
So many people, even like people that could be executives or like big people, even people that you look up to, they could tell you that it's not going to happen. But at the end of the day, the only person that can make it happen is you. If you work for it, if you believe in it, if you're passionate about what you do, you'll get there. No, you just can't let these guys control you, because sorry, just can't let them control you, because at the end of the day, it's about it's your life, and it's about what your heart wants.
Exactly, and I think the universe does send people along the way to kind of keep you going. Sometimes when you feel like you need a little inspiration, you look at that one person walking into your life, and it might be a totally different thing, but you could kind of put it toward what you're driving toward, and say, well, they could do it, or they've done it, and I could do it too.
Yeah. And it could even come in the form of it could be a negative, but a blessing in disguise. As in, like, say somebody just really impacts you, like, negatively, but then that it sets off a spark in your mind. And say for me, it was like, for example, when I was supposed to go to Los Angeles for college, it was a performing arts school, and it couldn't happen, and it just, like, it killed me on the inside, because I was this close to going and doing things I've never done before in relation to my dream. And after that happened, something set off in me. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna work even harder now, because if I was able to get into a school with a 23% acceptance rate, clearly there is something that I have that is special.
Right. They saw something in there. They saw it, absolutely.
So you have to look for the motivation in everything. You can't let it bring you down. You think, okay, this guy doesn't like me, or this girl thinks I'm not going to get anywhere in life. No problem. Let them think that. I'll use, instead of jumping on them, I'll use this frustration, the disappointment, as motivation to work harder and harder. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think that's really great advice, because so many people face that out there. You're up against the wall kind of thing, and you kind of do go through that funnel where there's so few record contracts, and it's so hard to get a record even like listened to today. But you do work hard, and it does come through, because people do come about at the right time. Now, like, what about like management? Should people get managers, you think, or does that come like along the way, or what would you say about that?
In the music industry?
Yeah.
I think having a manager is definitely a good thing, but it's a two-way road. You need to be sure that you're doing your part of the bargain, and he or she needs to be sure that they're doing their part. Because if they're just throwing promises at you and you're doing everything, nothing's going to happen. It's teamwork. The manager, I guess, like, you could say that the manager takes the hits for you, because they're deciding where you will perform. How's your paycheck gonna work at this venue? But they want to take the hit for you, because they want you to succeed. Right,
because they're getting a percentage, obviously. Yeah.
And of course, like, you have to be sure that you're doing the work. If they're doing all this, like I said, it's a two-way road. If they're doing all this for you, and you're just sitting around thinking, nah, I'll do that another day, or nah, I'm not feeling it tonight, it's not going to happen. Both of you need to be on top of your game if you want.
Precisely.
Because this is an industry where continuously there are new talents coming up. There's so many things changing. Even the genres, they change. Everything changes from time to time, continuously, like I said. So you got to be on top of your game. You got to know what you're doing. Right.
Do you think, like, with the music today, like, a lot of it is digital and downloading, and do you think it's harder today, or a little easier, or
harder?
Is it harder really to get heard today? I mean, like, there seems to be a lot of platforms today, but then again, it seems to be less at the same time.
It's not harder to get heard. It's harder to be big. And what I mean by that is that a lot of big stars today wouldn't have been so big 30 years ago, and that is simply because of social media. They have this platform, and but it pales in comparison to how big the majority of artists were, say, 30, 40 years ago. It's just social media.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not famous. They are.
Yeah.
But it's easy to, because the power of social media, it's easy to get you onto the platform.
Right.
But as for how high of an impact you want to have, that's a different story. Say, like, if Michael Jackson had social media, if there was YouTube around, he would hit tens of billions of views just like that.
Exactly. Yeah, because just the dancing alone and the recordings and everything else, because he'd be getting it from all different sides, in the sense of there'd be people watching to learn the dances.
Yeah.
There'd be people for the music.
Yeah.
There'd be people just for inspiration. Yeah, it's really amazing.
Of course,
really.
But I will say that social media does help, and it's a big help in getting the word out. Because back then, say you'd either watch it on TV, hear it on the news. With social media, something as so minuscule can go viral, and it'll really change. It'll change everything.
Right, because I mean, especially years ago, there were certain artists who they would keep off the radio for whatever reason it happened to be.
Yeah.
So today, like you said, I think he's right, because you could just be whoever and put something out there, and it'll go viral, and then all of a sudden everybody wants to listen to it or see it, or you know, and you never know what'll happen with it. That's amazing.
Of course.
So any last thoughts? Anything you want to say to everybody out there? And I mean, like I said, folks, this guy is going to be huge one day, and you know, everyone's going to be wanting to go to his concerts and looking for tickets. But any last words to everybody out there?
Is that all the questions?
Oh, I always have plenty of questions, but you know, for purposes of, we'll probably do another interview one day. But just for purposes, last thoughts, yeah.
Well, I'll say this: a lot of people they look at life as being a 1 in a million.
Right.
They see a president, a celebrity, a sports athlete. They think, oh, he or she, they're 1 in a million.
Right.
The fact of the reality is, we're all that 1 in a million. The thing is, these people from a young age, they're taught to believe that I'm not that 1 in a million. I'm just going to do something realistic, something normal. We all have the potential to do that. We all have the potential to be great. We just condition ourselves from a young age that no, it's not going to work out for me because that's only a success story, or I'm just an average Joe. That's not true. You can do whatever you want in life as long as you're dedicated, passionate. You put hard work into it, and you put your mind, body, and soul into it. Everything. It'll get there. And people are going to tell you that you're no good, that you're not going to make it. People are going to, and like I said at the beginning of the interview, even people who you look up to, unfortunately, even them, they might say that it's no good. Like, what's an example? Michael Jordan, he got kicked out of his basketball team. Well, look what happened to him.
Right, exactly.
And that's an example of what I said before. Use the negatives to motivate you even more.
For the positive.
Exactly. You just got to keep going at what you're doing, because at the end of the day, your biggest fan is yourself. And you can't let any of these other people tell you, because once you break through that first wall, meaning the wall, I call it the first wall, which is the phase where nobody wants to give you a chance, nobody wants to look your way. But you can break through that wall as long as you keep working. Once you break through that wall, all the good will come, because they'll see how special you are. And the world will learn. Because if they won't learn, someone else will, and then they'll learn that.
Well, that's true words of wisdom. I mean, you can incorporate that to any field, whether you're an animator or a musician like Sam or anything. Well, Sam, I want to thank you so much for joining me on the channel. I mean, like I said, I can't wait to interview you again when you got the gold records and the platinum up on the wall. I know it's going to happen, and
thank you.
In one way, shape, or form or another. And thanks for joining us on Kindred Souls of Brooklyn for this interview with Sam Zee. He's also got his own YouTube channel, right? So if you want to, check him out on YouTube, he's got his own channel on there. And I want to thank him once again for joining me on mine. So, folks, have a great evening, and we'll see you real soon. This is Al and Sam signing off. Have a great night.
Take care, everyone.
Good night, folks. Bye-bye.